So usually when clients come to me and they're not at six figures yet, I will tell them one ideal client, one high level offer, and focus on one platform because that's all you need. Welcome to the Master Your Business podcast, where we bring you the best in branding, marketing, and customer experience strategies. I'm Deirdre Martin, your host. And if you've been asking yourself how to level up your growing business, your marketing, your customer experience, or how to make more of an impact with your brand, this show is for you. You'll discover actionable tips and insights to help businesses just like yours gain clarity and illuminate the path to success. Train with industry experts, learn sales and marketing strategies, business and mindset hacks, and be inspired by authentic entrepreneurship stories. As your host, I share the no-nonsense advice that accelerated my journey from boring bank manager to industry thought leader in marketing and customer experience. Learn how I made the leap into the world of six-figure success, digital courses, keynote speaking, and co-authoring a #1 bestseller in just 1 year. Together with interviews from industry experts, this show ensures you're seen, heard, and hired by your ideal clients. Join our growing community of subscribers and let the Master Your Business podcast empower you to tackle your most significant challenges on your path to business success. Don't miss out. It's your turn to learn from the best and master your dream business. Picture this. You're juggling a million things on your to-do list, and absolutely everything feels like a priority. You know all about shiny object syndrome, and every freaking thing seems shiny at the moment. And maybe at nighttime, you're doom scrolling on social media, not able to get to sleep, and constantly comparing yourself to competitors or even others in different industries. You're working harder than ever, but your business feels like it's stuck in neutral and you just can't get it into gear to move forward. Does that sound familiar? Well, that was me. And I have some good news. I found a way to break free from that cycle of overwhelm and frustration and general stuckiness. And it's about gaining traction and accelerating your success by finding your focus in your business. Hi, I'm Deirdre Martin, your triple certified award-winning business mentor. I've helped countless entrepreneurs just like you make their first 100,000 and even their first million in business. And today I'm going to share a very simple yet powerful concept that can transform your business and your life. I'm talking about the concept of traction and how it can help you break free from that overwhelm and gain clarity and accelerate your success. You'll learn how to identify your core focus, eliminate distractions, and build a business that runs itself so you can finally achieve the freedom and fulfillment you deserve. Get ready to gain traction and accelerate your success by doing less but better. Okay, so the first step to making that a reality, the first step to getting traction is to figure out your one thing. This is your core activity in your business that generates the most revenue and impact. It's the thing you're uniquely good at and that your ideal clients value most. It's that when they go away and they talk about you, they're like, I just worked with that person and they were freaking amazing at this thing, right? It's what they describe you as being or doing or having. It could be, I just worked with that person and they're like a Duracell bunny. They've charged me up. I feel fired like I can do anything, right? So it's that unique way of being or doing or having. And this isn't easy to do when you're an entrepreneur, right? It really isn't. Because and what I mean by the thing that isn't easy is that focus, that core one thing, and figuring out what that is, because so many entrepreneurs are visionaries, they're ideators, and they can see cash signs whenever they look over the fence into the greener field next door. And, I know that this is true because this is me. Even still, I'm nearly 4 years into my business and this is still me. And sometimes my husband sits down, he's like, why don't you do this? And I'm like, because it distracts me from my core focus. So let me share a quick story. When I started my business, I was clear on what I wanted to do, who for and how. I quickly figured out my one thing. But as I started to do my one thing, I realized I didn't like it so much. I could have kept going with that one thing, and this would be a very different podcast now. But what happened? I changed focus. I literally switched focus. I was that visionary. I moved into the greener field next door. But let me tell you, it wasn't a greener field. I wanted to work with different type of audience because the work I was doing wasn't lighting me up. Even though I was making really freaking good money, I just wanted to work with smaller businesses. I wanted to work with solopreneurs and people with teams of 20 or less because when you work with smaller businesses like that, the impact is freaking phenomenal and things can change and move a lot quicker. And there's none of this red tape BS and having to, talk to the legal team and talk to the marketing team and talk to this, that, and the other. And so I really wanted to work with those smaller businesses. But when I changed, I now knew who I wanted to work with and how, as in what I was going to work with them on. But what I wasn't clear on, the exact process of what I was going to do and what problem I really ultimately solved for them. And I thought it was, get more clients, but it wasn't. It was more than that. And it took me a couple of years, yes, years, to figure that out. And basically, that resulted in a whole lot of stress, a lot of comparisonitis, and a massive knock in confidence. I was on the verge of giving up. Now, I've talked about this in the show before, but once I refocused on my core thing, which was one-on-one mentoring at the time to small business owners, supporting them with customer experience, which, by the way, I named brand marketing customer experience. That's a whole other podcast episode story right there. But when I switched my focus and really got clear on my one thing, eventually my business took off. Now, you might be thinking, but Deirdre, shouldn't I diversify my income streams? And yes, I will 100% say diversification in business and finance and wealth, all of those things is really important, but only after you've mastered your one thing and built a solid foundation for your business. So usually when clients come to me and they're not at six figures yet, I will tell them one ideal client, one high level offer, and focus on one platform. Because that's all you need, one ideal client. Knowing how you're going to solve that one ideal client with a major transformation in some way, you only need to focus on one social media platform because there's enough people on any one of the platforms to make you freaking rich 10 times over. And then once you become fully subscribed, then and only then would I recommend that you flesh out and diversify how you bring in more while still focusing on your one thing. Because otherwise, at the start, shiny object syndrome becomes a major problem. So once you've figured out your one thing and you're fully subscribed, then identify more ways to capitalize on that core focus. And so what I mean by that is like your income streams might look a little bit different. So instead of just having that one really high ticket offer, you might introduce a low ticket offer or a mid ticket offer and also have a high ticket offer. You could have multiple offers all at the same time, but ultimately they should all lead to one place, that core focus, or they should all be for that core ideal client. And then once you're doing that, you could add in affiliate marketing or collaborate with people whereby, for example, let's say I could collaborate with a web designer. So when people come to me for help with messaging and how to make their brand stand out, very often what they're looking for is actually to upgrade their website. So I could collaborate with a web designer or a web agency. And then what would happen is they could come in and talk in my community. I could go in and talk in their community, and then we could send clients to each other. That's one way. Another thing could be, I mean, I use a lot of tools. A lot of my clients are always asking me, Deirdre, what's your tech stack look like? I can promote some of the tools that I use in my community, and that can bring in income to me as well. So that's another way to grow your income stream aside from your own products. But one thing I think is really important for you to know is that once you start building cash reserves and profits in your business, you can really start looking at things outside of your business as well to grow your wealth. And from my banking background, this was part of my area of expertise in banking. It was looking at the multiple different asset classes that you can invest in. And cash is king. Cash is always going to be king. So you do need to keep cash in the bank. That needs to be your emergency money. When shit hits the fan, you need to be able to put your hands on some cash and take it out really quickly. But there are other asset classes as well that you could look at. So like property, investment property, having a holiday home, or maybe a residential or a commercial property that you rent out and make some money on. You can invest in stocks and shares. You can do that directly yourself, like trading, or you can go in and invest as part of a fund where somebody else manages the trading on your behalf. You can invest in commodities, like you can trade and invest in commodities as well, like things like gold or oil. And at the end of the day, why I'm sharing this with you is because sometimes it's that bigger picture, like those cash signs I mentioned earlier, that people are really drawn to. But what can happen is if you lose your core focus and don't build enough cash reserves in your business, what can happen is you might get rich, but might not get wealthy. Cash makes you rich, but assets make you wealthy. So you focus on your core thing, your one thing. And then once you stick to that core focus, your one thing, then you'll be able to grow and scale and accelerate your wealth, right? Does that make sense? So to identify your one thing, ask yourself these questions. Like, what am I truly passionate about? What fires me up and makes me go, "Woo, I can't wait to do that today." Like, what is that for you? Like, what do you excel at? What are you really good at? What do clients be like, "Oh my God, that was freaking amazing." What is it that they say that about when they've worked with you? Look at your business. What generates the most revenue for your business right now? Like, what one thing is selling exceptionally? What is that? Or is it a skill? What is it that's making people come back repeatedly and buy that thing? What are they talking about and referring other people to you for? What is that? And then who are the people you enjoy serving? Who are they? How did they behave? Are they like, I love to work with people who are really action takers. They're decisive, they're doers. Yes, they like to dream, but they're really great doers, and they don't procrastinate about shit. They just get shit done, right? They're my people. I love those people. And then what do your ideal clients, what do they value most? What's most important to them? And these answers to these questions will help you pinpoint what your core focus is. And if you're struggling with traction on your one thing, check out episode 9 of this podcast, where I share how to differentiate and create a competitive advantage. And really, what it is it's about how you position yourself in your market so you stand out with your one thing. Okay, so next, once you've identified what your one thing is, it's time to eliminate distractions. And this means saying no to opportunities that just don't align with your core focus, even if they seem tempting. One of my millionized clients is a pro at boundaries. I mean, so much so that this is one of the things that she teaches and really lives by. Yet, when we were doing our CEO kickoff session, one of the things that continuously came up was how she was doing so much to help clients succeed that she had let some of her own boundaries slip. And whilst helping clients succeed is freaking fantastic, it's freaking terrible too, because it comes at a cost. And so I asked her this question: when you say yes to doing that, what are you saying no to? And for her, it was saying no to scaling elements of her business. It was saying no to charging for her time, which meant She was saying no to more money. And she was also saying no to family time. By saying no, she's managing her energy and keeping her focus on her one thing and the other things in her life that truly matter the most to her. So I have a tip for you on this. I want you to literally create a not to do list. I'm so serious. A not to do list. And I want you to stick this on your laptop or your desktop or the wall in your office or wherever you spend most of your time. And this is a list of activities you will not do, no matter how frickin' tempting they seem. And even if it's helping out a client beyond the scope of your agreement, because you feel like you're going the extra mile for them, you need to say no to that. You need to tell them, it needs to be like, yes, absolutely, I will do that for you. And by the way, this will have a cost of da da da. Or yes, absolutely, I will do that for you. We'll focus on it in our next session together when, part of what we've already agreed. So be boundaries. You can say no. You can say yes, and I can do that for you. And so you don't have to say no to the client. You can say, yes, I'll do that for you. And there will be a cost of, right? So you need to be boundaried. And this is definitely going to help you stay focused and avoid getting sidetracked by shiny objects. People pleasing, folks. People pleasing, folks. That's me, my client. And also, it will help you stop comparing yourself to others as well. So, I mean, that could be something that you don't do. No more comparing yourself to others. And that goes in your not to do list. And I think when you write down your not to do list, at the top of your not to do list, write down, I'm not doing these things because they mean I'm saying no to dot, dot, dot. What does it mean that you're saying no to? Okay, so now you're clear on your one thing and you have your not to do list that'll eliminate any distractions for you. The next thing is to create a laser focused strategy for growth. And this means developing a plan that outlines your goals, your target audience, your marketing channels, your marketing strategy, your plan, what you're going to do, your key performance indicators, and the systems that you need so your business can practically run itself. Now, one of my most successful clients built a 7-figure business by creating a system and process that allowed him to step back from the day-to-day of his operations. Now, he hadn't realized before we started working together through his customer journey that he was a big freaking bottleneck at multiple places in his business. And basically, what was happening was he was holding the reins so tightly that things couldn't flow without him. And people on his team had to keep coming through him before things could flow. So he had put like checks in place that he had to kind of sign off or approve before the next thing could happen in the journey. So to enable him to step back and let the business run itself without him having to be involved in every single client case, what I recommended he did was to create a standard operating procedure, because then he's clear on it, he sets it out, and then it's empowering his team to fuck up, right? And it's okay if they do. That was another thing. And if they make a mistake, it's like, that's okay. How can we learn from it? And then introduce some elements of automation as well. And when he did this allowed him to focus on his zone of genius and scale his impact without sacrificing his well-being or his sanity, to be fair. So for you to create a laser-focused growth strategy, this is what I recommend. Start by writing down your big, hairy, audacious freaking goals. Those ones that scare the bejesus out of you. If you're in America, basically it means scare the frick out of you, right? Write down those big, hairy goals. Like, what does your dream life look like? Do you want to make $20 million? Do you want to have a yacht? Like, what does your dream life look like? Write down those big, huge goals and break them down into smaller, more manageable action steps that you need to take to get you towards achieving those goals. And this is going to make them feel less overwhelming and help you stay motivated. You can even put in some like milestones that will help you know and recognize that you're on your way to achieving this big, hairy, audacious freaking goal. Okay, right. I get carried away talking like that. So the second part then is to look at your customer journey next. for your one focus, your one thing. When you look at your customer journey for that primary thing that's making the most revenue for you in your business, that your customers are excited about, and that you really enjoy doing, map out what your customer journey looks like for that. And during that, document your processes and create standard operating procedures. You can even then, when you're doing your customer journey map, you can say, geez, we don't need to be doing that part manually. We can automate that. And when you automate that, that allows you to streamline your workflow. It can make the process even faster. It can make it a better experience overall for your ideal clients. Like, who the frick doesn't want that? And also, when you create your customer journey and figure out what those goals are, it allows you to identify what areas you need actually support in terms of resources and people. And then you can go and hire and train a really capable team to handle some of those routine tasks that will support you with your growth. And lastly, well, maybe not lastly, but definitely one of the most important aspects of all of this is literally empowering your team to make decisions and take ownerships of their roles, but also knowing that they're definitely going to fuck up. I'm serious. And like when they fuck up, it's like you need to be okay with that. And I think I remember learning this years ago in my time as part of leadership development programs I was sent on many years ago in the bank. And one of the things was you've got to be okay with people delivering at 80% of what you deliver yourself, because they're never going to be able to deliver it 100% like you would. But 80% needs to be okay. And so they're going to fuck up on that other 20%, and you need to be okay with that. And when you can be okay with that, it's going to help with this bit, which I think is really important, is that a lot of entrepreneurs believe that they need to be involved in every aspect of their business to ensure its success, but you really don't. Because in reality, letting go of control and allowing others to fuck up, while just basically empowering them, that can lead to greater efficiency. They might even come up with better ways of doing things than you've ever come up with, right? So it can lead to innovation and it can lead to overall growth of your business. Now, something that I've done that really helps with this in terms of my team and how I manage things is I have a delegation dashboard. And what that looks like is it's a tool that a dashboard that I use to track tasks I delegate to my team. And it's really simple. And I do it on my favorite tool, which is Notion. And all I track is who is the task delegated to? What is the freaking task, I suppose? And then when is the deadline? When does it need to be done by? And having something like this, if you don't have something like this, and even if you have a VA or you do things yourself, having a way to note down what tasks you do, the steps in the task, who ideally would do this task for you, those are things that can help you set yourself up for success as your business gets traction and as you start to accelerate. So it helps you stay organized. It helps make sure that nothing falls through the cracks, and it helps you stay on track with your one thing. Now, something else that will help you get on track with your one thing is my free brand strategy checklist. It's going to help you reflect and figure out what your core focus is if you're just not really clear yet. So you can get it for free from www.deirdremartin.ie/brand strategy checklist. Okay, today we have explored the power of focusing on your one thing and how it can help you get traction and accelerate your success, but it also has the ability to transform your business and your life. And at the end of the day, focus is not about doing more. It's about doing less of the wrong things and more of the right things. That's literally it. It's about doing less the wrong things and more of the right things. So identify your core genius, eliminate those distractions, and create a business that runs itself. And I seriously take action today. Be a doer. Take action today. Choose one of the strategies I've shared and implement it in your business this week. Start small, but be consistent. And don't forget to download your free brand strategy checklist at www.deirdremartin.ie/brand strategy checklist. It will help you figure out your one thing to accelerate your success. If you enjoyed this episode, please, please, please share it with your fellow entrepreneurs. And that's it for today. Thanks so much for listening to the Master Your Business podcast. If you found this episode valuable, please leave a rating and a review whatever platform you're listening on today. And don't forget to follow us so you never miss an episode. Until next time, my friend, keep mastering your business.